is up, you guys, and welcome back to Brittany Automotive. This week's going to be a little bit of a different video. As I was trying to catch up on social media messages, I realized that there was a lot of smaller questions that you guys asked that I still have not been able to get back to, and a lot of them are reoccurring. So I went ahead and put a poll on my Instagram just to ask a few more questions so that I could make a full video out of it. But I don't really want to sit in front of a camera and just sit there and talk. I think that's kind of boring. And I got a race car that's down, and a V6 Mustang isn't always fun to daily. So we're gonna take out Mama Friesen's car for a little bit, and we're gonna go get it washed. I'm gonna go buy a new flashlight from Harbor Freight because my dad broke it. So yeah, we're gonna go do that, and I'm gonna answer some of your guys' most asked questions. Oh, safety first. Sorry guys. Also, as I'm reading questions, they are on a piece of paper, so nobody in my comments come for me, okay? Safety Sally's. I'm not looking at my phone because I'm recording with it. Okay, we are officially on our way to Harbor Freight to get a new light because yesterday my brother-in-law wanted to test his 66 C10, and my dad left my favorite light under the truck. It's fine, whatever. Gives us time to answer some more questions. The next one is actually, have you ever driven the turbo C10? No, I have not, Brady Ray. We drive it. I want to drive it just once. We can turn the tune down. It makes you more comfortable. And then turn it back up. What accomplishment makes you most proud of yourself? I usually don't give myself enough credit, so this might take a minute. I could go mainstream. I wired my own car. I have this many followers. I graduated high school, about to graduate college, whatever. But I don't see that as being that great. I think the best accomplishment that I have ever done in my life is probably overcoming my own self, because I'm always so hard on myself, and I feel like this past year I finally put that away and just started living for myself. And honestly, that's probably my biggest accomplishment, was finally living for myself, which is so much more fun than living for everyone else. Once your car is complete, are you going to compete in any drag and race events, Rocky Mountain, etc.? So my car is going to be done this season with the LT1 with nitrous on it. I'm going to for sure be in 2.0, Rocky Mountain 2.0. 1.0, I promised my dad and the rest of my family that I would not do until his car was done. So hopefully maybe 2023 on that one. And then drag week, I really want to participate in that, but I think that's going to have to wait till next year once again, just because I definitely want to be ready for 2.0, and I don't know if the LT1 is going to be able to withstand nitrous for that long. And with the rate that I'm going right now on social media, I'm hoping that I can branch out and race at many other states and finally make this more of a traveling thing, just because right now I don't have the funds for a truck and a trailer that can go further than like 3-4 hours. So how much are you spraying? Are you ever gonna go turbo in the future? I plan on max going probably 200 shot until the end of Rocky Mountain. I'm going to pretty much put in whatever it'll take, and then after that it's gonna get LS swapped. And I don't know why I all of a sudden have a fascination for Pro Chargers, but I do. I don't know now. I don't know. It kind of just depends. Depends on other aspects of everything else in my life. What was your first vehicle? I had an LTD Crown Vic, a boat, for I think it was probably half a year before I got my Mustang as a daily. And my sister and my brother also got this car as their first car. They drove it longer than I did. It was supposed to be the car that if you messed up and you wrecked somebody, it's okay. It's an LTD Crown Vic. Like, you're gonna be fine, and we're not gonna be upset that you wrecked the car. Like, whatever. It's a beater. I got my Mustang and wrecked it within the week, so that didn't work for me. What classes do you race in? I usually run, well, before I was running a 13 index. This next Rocky Mountain, I'm hopefully running a 12 index, maybe an 11, just depends on what the car does, probably a 12. And then if it's not index racing, I run sportsman. Do you plan to make a career out of racing, or keep it as a hobby. I 1000% want to make this a career. With social media and hopefully getting to more tracks next year and a lot more sponsors, a lot more partnerships, hopefully I can make this a career, because this is definitely what I want to do. If not, it can be a hobby, but it is going to be a big part of my life no matter what. What is your opinion on other types of racing? I respect all racing. There was at one point in my life that I used to make fun of, I call them drifty boys. I still call them drifty boys, and I'm sorry. But I used to make fun of drifting. But then I went to a drift event last summer, and that was probably one of the funnest things I've ever gotten to do. Like, drag racing, there's so many rules, and they're so strict at the track, and drifting is like, get in, if you hit somebody and you drop your bumper, get out of your car and go get it. And it's like, people are drifting around you, and they don't care about passengers, nothing. So that was a lot of fun. There's another question that literally asked me if I would ever do a drift car. If I had the money and the funds to do so many different builds for different racing, I would definitely do all of them. Like, hands down, 100%. Like, I have so much respect for other racing, and I am willing to try it all at least once. How'd you get the courage to tear out a good harness and start from scratch? It was not a good harness. That's why. It was a splotched harness from stock LT1 harness computer to an LS computer, and the wiring was just trash at that point. Like, it was not great. It was the first car I was ever wiring. I was just gonna listen to whatever my dad told me to do, and yeah, so we completely tore it out. My dad had history of wiring other cars from scratch, like he did my brother's and my brother-in-law's truck, so he knew what he was doing. So knowing that you have somebody to help you if you needed it was fantastic. So I feel like, I mean, going into it, I really wasn't scared whatsoever. I just knew it was going to be a giant learning curve, and I was ready to take it on. What is your overall goal with the Camaro? Within the next 4 years, that thing better be running 7. Seriously. That's my goal. To make it fast. Very fast. That's about it. And then once it's running 7s, I will build something else. But I will keep the Camaro. I have said this several times. I don't think I can part from my first race car. I don't think I can do it. Favorite type of music to listen to in the shop? That depends on my mood. It can go from like Cole Swindell, Dustin Lynch, to like NWA, Avril Lavigne, Fall Out Boy. It's all over the place. I actually have a playlist that has like all of the things. Like Sean Kingston is on there. Like, it's all over the place. I don't know. It just depends on my mood and what I'm feeling like. Okay. Why go through all of this work instead of just LS swap? This is a budget build, you guys. Like, budgeted. I am a college student. I don't have the money for that. So I definitely want to see how much I can push an LT1 before I send a rod through the block. Honestly. And then I'll LS swap it. When's the Mustang gonna get some love? I'm literally not driving it because I'm bored with it. So the Mustang, like I said, I have this random urge for Pro Chargers, and I do not know why. I really want to put a Pro Charger on the V6 Mustang, just because I think it'd be fun. A sleeper. Not really a sleeper, but, you know, a V6 Mustang with a Pro Charger on it. People would be like, what the heck? So I kind of want to do that, but that's like $7,000 for the kit, and I ain't doing that. So unless someone wants to send it to my doorstep, that'd be great. I plan on selling it within the next couple of years and getting a truck. So probably not going to do anything to it. I've pretty much made it as pretty as I wanted to make it, and it wasn't supposed to go fast in the first place. So, ever thought about crossing over to the rotary or 2J world? I've never really thought about a 2J, but fun fact, I believe I knew how a rotary engine worked before I knew what any other engine worked like. I specifically remember this, and I have really bad memory, and I don't know how I remember this, but it was, I think, one of our no preps at Kansas International Dragway. It was the first time I had ever seen Adam's orange Firebird. If you know what I'm talking about, thank you, because that thing is beautiful. But I didn't know anything about cars at that point. I called his Firebird a Camaro. Like, that's how lack of knowledge I had. My dad was talking about, I believe it was a Corvette that had a rotary engine in it. And I was like, what the heck is a rotary engine, Dad? So he explained it to me, and I was just fascinated with this. And I was like, why don't other people have this engine? Like, why is it so rare? And so I ended up, like, I think I was like a freshman in high school. I ended up doing a bunch of research on it just because I was curious. And I'm legit, I think I knew how a rotary engine worked before I did a regular engine. So, I don't know. Probably never. Okay, next question was, do you ever feel awkward filming yourself? No, not anymore. I've gotten so used to it that it really doesn't bug me, and I don't get as tongue-tied as I used to. I feel like if somebody stuck a camera in my face, maybe I would be, but when I'm by myself, it really doesn't matter. Plus, you guys don't see the bloopers. Like, my last video, it flowed very well, but like, you guys miss out on all of the bloopers that I delete, and that's because of the dumb things that I say in the end of the video. Have you ever met Cletus? I actually did meet Cletus at Rocky Mountain Race Week last year. We were in the staging lanes together on the last day in Oklahoma, and he caught the sticker on the back of my car and it says ugly stepchild. So he came over and he was like, the ugly stepchild, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I like the orange. And then we just talked, and my dad came over. And then the guy from PFI Speed came over. So we all were just talking for a little bit while we were waiting for the staging lanes. I think that's why I like Rocky Mountain so much. Just because you meet so many people that, one, you don't expect to, and two, from everywhere. Like, literally everywhere. There's people from Canada there. And I would never have the friends that I do now without Rocky Mountain, for sure. Can you teach me the basics of electrical? The basics of electrical is a lot of physics and a lot of what I call nerdy stuff. And I'm not even the most knowledgeable on it, which I need to do more research on it, especially with how serious I want to become with wiring. But yeah, I feel like that would be a cool YouTube video. I need to do more research, and then yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. So stay tuned. Maybe that'll be a YouTube video in the future. What do you do for a living? I work in basically maintenance at the zoo. I build fences, chop down trees, do all that stuff. I also work at Lake Quick Trip, the gas station, if you're familiar. Do you plan on doing Hot Rod Drag Week? Sooner or later, yes. Not this year. Hopefully maybe next year, because that will be a lot of fun if I can. Are you single? Yes, I'm single, happily. Relationships are a lot of work. Best advice for someone wanting to get into racing? I would say definitely ask as many questions as you can. And if you're building your car, I would say the biggest thing is actually doing it yourself. If you want to learn how to do it, you're going to have to do it yourself, because you might think that you have the grasp of the knowledge that someone just gave you, but in reality you have no idea when you actually try to go do it yourself, because it's way different. You learn easier when you do it yourself, in my opinion. So that is my advice to you. I gotta focus for a second. There's a lot of traffic. If an LS motor and turbo kit showed up at your doorstep, would you ditch to LT? Yes. Yes, I would. I'm gonna have to bleep that name, because exciting news, but can't be released yet. In due time, my friends, in due time. Any plans for other styles of racing, particularly road course or time attack? Can it always be added? Yes. Like I said, I'm always down to try different racing, especially with the road course. If I could be a driver for one of those teams, that'd be so freaking cool. Like, if I got the opportunity to do that, I totally would, 100%. Oh my dear Lord, Jose, jeez. This road is awful. What's your go-to choice of power added if it was given to you for free? I have no idea. I don't know. Mike, you're throwing me for a loop. I'm going to answer the other 6 questions that you asked. Mike from Motion, by the way, if you guys were curious. Would you rather have the 98 to 02 front end rather than your current front end? No. I like mine a lot more. It looks less like a catfish. The only problem is it has an LT in it and not an LS. How did you get a following, and any advice for people starting out on social media? I'm sorry, there is like, you have no control when it comes to social media. You can either fail or you can succeed, and it all depends on how popular your audience that you're trying to grab is, and oh snap, that thing is pretty. Holy, hang on, we're turning around. What is your long-term goal in auto racing / influencer? My long-term goal is to make this a career. My entire goal here is to inspire women to get into this industry, because we tend to not have the same resources to be thrown into this industry, because if it wasn't for like my whole family being into cars, I wouldn't be racing. There's no way. I wouldn't feel comfortable enough to do it. It'd be scary. And so I definitely want to be that female that other females can reach out to and message, and have the ability to have a one-on-one with me to realize that it's not that scary. And there's a lot of knowledge out there that you can get from the internet, not just the internet, but just talking to people. Because believe it or not, the people that you think are the highest in the racing world, they're actually really down-to-earth people, most of them. And they are willing to answer your really dumb questions. Like, they're okay with it. And not to mention Facebook. If you're willing to look stupid, ask away. People are going to answer you. One of my biggest goals is to inspire more women to become racers, whether it's just drag racing or any racing industry, to be honest. I really want this to be a career of mine. I don't want this to stay as a hobby. I want to be able to do this full time, all the time. Like, I'm okay with being in front of cameras. I'm okay with all of the shebang that comes along with it, and it's exciting. That's definitely what I want to do. How did you get HEATWAVE to sponsor you? They actually reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. They ended up messaging me and asking if they can send me some safety glasses, and then it turned into, well, let's talk more. Let's get down to the business of things. And so that was really exciting, and there are a couple other places that I'm going to have to wait on to tell you guys, but it's really exciting. It does not stop at HEATWAVE, and I am really excited and antsy to release it to you guys, but I have to wait. Where would I move if I decided to live somewhere different? So I would only move if it had to do with a job. There's no other way I would move. My family's here, and I really want to stay with my family, but if a job came up, because there are plenty of jobs in literally all over the United States that I would take in a heartbeat, and I would happily move. There is not a specific state that I would want to move to. Literally, I would move to any of them if it meant I got the job that I wanted. And I think that was it for questions. So the last two steps we're going to make is Quick Trip and the car wash, because Mom's car is dirty and I don't want to give it back to her empty. Best part about washing your car is drying your car. Thought that was a cop. She's dry now. Mom's car is back in the garage. It is clean. It is full of gas. We got our light that I'm in love with. It has been a good day. As mentioned before, with my partnership with HEATWAVE, you guys can get a discount by clicking the link down below and using that discount code. You guys not only help me out, but hopefully it helps you guys out with a little bit of a discount. As usual, I'm also going to leave my socials down below. Thank you for the 16K on Instagram, and we're almost to 80K on TikTok, which is freaking amazing. So thank you guys for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video.